Hello there. Greetings. Happy Saturday. No, Navia, stop doing that. Hello. It is time once again to play some Genshin. I have some farming to do, you know, gotta do my dailies, and then I think do Emilie's story quest today. Ooh, let me set my stream info because I forgot to do that. Hold on a second.
I really want to go traveling. I don't mind where we go, as long as I have my friends with me.
Oh, did y'all watch the Natlan stream? I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning to watch the whole thing, which was a poor choice, but it was very exciting. I'm so excited for Natlan. Let's see. Genshin time again. Ah, shit. Save. Come on. There we go. Okie dokie. We got stream info.
My time with the Spina has taught me that carrying an unreliable weapon is worse than not carrying
cryo,
one
right?
at all.
Okay, so we're good. I know my combat skills are nothing to show off, but I got dailies to do, you know. So let's get warmed up.
Transfixed. There is no escape.
Damn, you're loud, bro.
Watch out!
Turn that shit down. My ears are so loud. Oh my god. Ow!
Laid bare.
Oh shit. Oh, well, I have a shit. We're fine.
With rocks. Hiya! Hey there!
There we go.
Shine down.
Yikes. I guess I should speed this up. Have some, like, crit rate food or something.
Overruled.
Watch out!
That would be a smart thing to do. Give me that.
Fire!
Give me that shield.
With rocks.
I finally kind of learned how to use Arlecchino. Kind of. Like, I didn't even realize you're supposed to wait
Illusion
and
shattered.
not collect that blood debt directive thing immediately.
Coming at ya! Hey, shot! Nova, get them!
I learned that from a random fucking Doro video. Not even a whole video, it was a short. Oh, that was a waste of
With
first.
rocks.
That's okay. Hang on a second. Fucking, my side tone is not working. Is that because IQ is not working? Come on, Corsair. Get it together. Yeah? Why am I not hearing myself then? How odd. Yeah, I hear no. Oh no, I do hear a difference. It's just quieter today for some reason. Strange. Strange. Oh well. That's fine. No shit, my mouse needs to come back. I'm like tracking my boss drops here. Oh, I think I only need... I'm done. I'm done. I have 20. I needed 20. Sweet. Okay then. Shit, I don't really have any other bosses to farm now. I mean, I guess I need, rocks. This is a good boss to farm for, you know, a variety of, I just call them rocks. The gemstones. You know what I mean. like the shards and the gemstones and shit of the different elements that have fun lore hiding in them. I mean, I gotta spend my resins. I don't know what to do. I guess I could just grab some condensed resin if I don't have anything to farm today. Or I could think about this later and not do this on stream. Yeah, that's an option. Okay then. I'll do that. Let's do Emilie's story quest. Floral debt. Top note, floral debt. We're starting in Port Ormos, which is unexpected. I thought we'd be in Fontaine. Okay. Alright, slow fucking computer. Let's see. I've been kinda take it or leave it on Emilie, but the story quests usually make me want to pull the character, so we'll see what happens. I did pull Yelan. I did end up deciding to pull for Yelan. And I got her yesterday. I just have to build her. I don't have the resources yet. Oh, that's what I should do. I should farm her boss. That's what I should do with the rest of my, resin. Oh, hi, Tainari!
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat, so I came to help out.
Of course you did.
The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar capable of retaining heat and moisture. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
Of course.
Oh, and that expert is you, right?
The only botanist
Not
into
this
that?
time, no. I'm just here to help out.
Oh,
expert in
this
charge
is where
is someone
Emilie comes
else.
in. I see.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous
Oh,
bulbs
no.
with garlic shoots, and he ate them!
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses.
Oh my god.
Apologies, traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of. I'll be back in just a moment.
I love
Tainari's
this.
busy no matter where he is, huh?
Very true. Too many people are careless about what they eat. Yes.
Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like that! Paimon is super careful about what she eats. Well, looks like Tainari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime.
Floral debt, blood dew. What the hell? What a name.
Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
You gonna sneeze? Yep.
Huh?
There she is. Something wrong?
Fine. She's just got a little...
Oh my god. Are you allergic to one of those?
Roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
It's getting worse. Why?
Aw.
Oh.
Should we go find Tainari?
But I was just a moment ago.
Oh my god.
Didn't even eat anything weird.
This is me every
A moment of
morning,
your
by the
time,
way.
you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice.
How could you even smell that?
Whoa, that was fast. Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore.
Magic.
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers
Why are we
from
zoomed
abroad,
in on the
it's
boobs?
only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
Come on, we know what she looks like. You don't need to cover her fucking face.
I suppose that's accurate. Oh, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon is Paimon. Thank you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
I've heard a lot about you as well, though I didn't
What
expect to run
happened
into you
back
in
there?
Sumeru.
Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Have you ever heard of hay fever?
I think
To
so.
put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
I guess it was the combination of all of them in
Well,
one place.
we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Is
Were
everything
you looking
all
for
right?
us? We haven't moved.
I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air.
Yeah, Paimon was not having a good time. But Emily
Emily?
helped us out.
Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all. I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something similar has happened in the past.
Something like that.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
That was an allergic reaction?
Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one suffering. It makes no sense.
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you can generalize.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
Amen, Paimon. Are you a doctor, Emily?
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are rather unusual.
In addition to medicine, Emily is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
She just knows everything,
And
huh?
that's
She's
where my
one of those people.
expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes out on top.
That's my boy.
Flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tainari mentioned, the one in charge of the exhibition!
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any official capacity.
Oh, Paimon was
Who's
sure
the
she got it
expert,
right
then?
this time.
The Auguste? Variety? What's that? Such a dramatic pause.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Auguste, huh? That's not a name you hear often nowadays.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah,
Like
that
Augustus.
reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania?
Not really.
Perfume Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago.
Is this like the dancing plague?
It all started when several merchants released their
Oh.
own lines of high-end, expensive
Just
perfumes,
Black
marketing them
Friday.
as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins. The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds of thousands of mora. This resulted in countless disputes and scams.
Ah,
But at the
people
end
are
of the day,
greedy.
perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result.
If
In the
only
end,
that kind of shit happened
only
in real
a few
life.
wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
That's good. It really could have been a lot worse. Uh-huh. Yeah, huh?
What does
Yeah.
all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million mora a bottle.
Good grief.
10 million? Then
Paimon!
no.
Calm down, Paimon. The stars in her eyes.
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception.
I am
Its namesake,
not going to be
the
able to
flower
take
used
this
create it,
seriously.
went extinct.
Auguste?
As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the
Auguste?
value of the perfume remains exceedingly high.
The flower went extinct? I mean, I'm sure it was picked to extinction to make the damn perfume.
Indeed. The Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making.
Oh.
When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The
Sounds
variety has never been seen
suspicious.
since.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
It's just a rumor, Paimon.
I have to agree. Emily wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any grand Mora-making endeavors planned. Divine, noble, one of a kind, all beautiful sentiments to be sure, but to me, they overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so noble.
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had in mind.
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
That makes sense.
Even if it's not for Mora, we could still help you out. Silly.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but I wouldn't want to trouble you.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so it's only right that we help each other out.
Sure, that's how this game works. We just help
suppose
everybody.
You're right. Then you have my thanks.
Based on the information I
don't
have
know why
so
people
far,
were shitting
it's
on her
unclear
design
if
so
the
much.
rumor is true.
It's fine.
Mr.
Nothing wrong
Edgar
with it.
also thinks it's too early to say. But you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll know something.
Huh, I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The
Ah.
flower expert in
A
charge
random
of the
NPC.
exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
Oh.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in Sumeru.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
Yeah, valid.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
I need to stay back and keep an eye on things here at the port. If something happens, don't hesitate to find me.
Roger. Okay, so we've got glazed lilies. We've got knockeweed. Those are Cecilias, I guess. And this is dendrobium, I think. The neat rows of flowers were just so tempting, I really wanted to pick some. My hand just stretched out on its own, but when I thought of Tainari's serious face, I managed to yank my hand back in time. You mean that serious face? Right there? That's literally looking at me? Bye, Tainari! Oh, it's probably... I have to take the elevator. I could just take the fucking waypoint, I guess. That might be faster. Where's the elevator? Isn't it over here? No? Okay, I'm just gonna fucking teleport. Okay. More flares.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
We got windwheel
The
asters.
exhibitor paid a
Sumeru
large sum to
roses,
rent out the
Padisaras,
hotel and
Lacotes.
surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
Seems like they might have more to burn.
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, look, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kyria. Is he...
Hold on, we have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed the master.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I'm deserving of that title.
Oh, come on.
I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit for that success. And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Edgar.
Emilie's friends. Well then,
What was
the
that
pleasure
tone?
is all mine.
Emily's
And
friends,
these two gentlemen, are they friends of yours, Master?
What is going on here?
Of course! We're perfume merchants from Fontaine. I'm Ood, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze.
Yeah,
Edgar
those are
and the
fake
two of us
names.
are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Bro,
Yes.
Oud is a fragrance.
Merchant Brothers?
This is not.
You must be here
This
to
is
look for
so
the August
sketch.
flower then.
He just named himself Perfume. Because Oud is a fragrance from, like, Egypt.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant
Not spelled
hasn't
like
heard
that,
of a
though.
goose? Anyone in the business would be interested in the rumors.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few Eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the August flower. That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but
Sure.
still distinct. Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the August they remember from back then. A one-of-a-kind, divine, and noble scent.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of August from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent. August is even more prone to that kind of shift.
The way she
Only a few
described it
bottles
as
still
like a
exist in
historical
Fontaine, and their
event,
scent
I
would
thought
have
this was a
completely degraded
long
by now.
time ago. But there are people still alive
Although,
today
could
who
there
were
be a
there
flower
when it
out there with a
happened.
similar fragrance? Or in accord with the same bass notes?
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The goose flower is back. It has to be.
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought. Compared to things we see and hear, smells can be much easier to overlook.
Says you.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the August fragrance passed them on the street.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate. You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Oud, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Is that really their names? Because
Whoa,
there
you
was a
got the keys to
pause.
the rooms?
There was
we
a
get the lodging
hesitation before he said the name.
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see. I managed to tidy up
they
one of
did
the
tell you
rooms
that,
for these
Paimon.
two at the last minute. But by the time Emily wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's definitely no space for us.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay, even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru.
I'm familiar with the Sumeru wilderness. I'll come with.
Ah, even better. Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well, about
What
that.
sketchy shit is going on in this fucking hotel? It seems like Edgar and the others don't want anyone to stay near the hotel, but they're also trying not to arouse suspicion. I'm not just imagining things, am I? No, you are fucking not.
Of course, no trouble at all. My brother and I will keep an eye on them for you, as long as you don't mind, mademoiselle.
All right then. Ood, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage? I'll prepare some refreshments and join you in a bit.
This is so fucking sketchy. Oh my god. What shenanigans are these fuckers up to? I have no idea.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers.
That
Heard
facial
I took a
expression
peek
does
through the
not
window
match that
earlier
tone of
and
voice.
the house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
Do all perfumers have houses filled with flowers?
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
What's behind this door?
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
What? Dude, hello? Back to Earth, please. What is going on here?
Yes, of course.
That's not
All
his
right,
name.
then.
That is
Where can we
totally
find your
not his
luggage,
name.
Mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospitality.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Is that so?
Indeed. Is that so? Amber wine. Now that's a Fontaine specialty I've never
Mr.
heard of
Ood,
before.
Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no.
That's Master's voice.
Quick! Let's go see what's going on! Yeah, that's not good. Attacking an old man and shit. Where's the door? There's the door. Right in front of my fucking face. I like the detail of like all the pollens floating in the air you can see in the room. As you rush out of the hotel, you detect a unique fragrance coming from outside.
Master!
Hey, Edgar. Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Who did this?
Kyria. August.
Rosebud. Oh no! Oh shit! Really fucked him up.
Hey, Edgar? Edgar!
Well, he's still breathing.
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can...
We will try to see where the culprit runs.
Thank you.
Check the bottle.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this
Is
bottle?
that a bottle of Auguste? Auguste? Only a small amount of liquid is left inside the bottle, and streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and the sides of the vessel. Seems like somebody forcibly poured out whatever was inside the bottle. I have a feeling the liquid in this bottle is...
Really? You think so?
What is it, poison?
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked Edgar?
There are no footprints in the flower beds, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. Unless the culprit was your size, that would be pretty difficult.
True.
Also floating, since there's no footprints. What else is there on the scene? Oh, them.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wings and fly away.
That kid?
Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
Her dress
Well,
like settles
it was all
whenever the
over,
scene
but the only
loads.
clue we found was that bottle.
It's a pretty big fucking clue, I think.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master. Can you help me move him inside?
Absolutely. You and Emily carefully move Edgar inside.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into other clues for now.
We found this bottle just now.
Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid, and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe there are 2 people who could shed some light on the situation. Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucian.
There we go.
Wait, you know...
You. This guy's an idiot.
Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid we'd never heard of those names before.
Jig is up, buddy.
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators and profiteers, inflating the price of Auguste even further. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
What?
Every
Why
time
are
your
you
brother called you
Southern?
Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucian just now, the name registered immediately.
Yeah, you're really
Miss
bad at lying.
Emily, out of respect for your position as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, I'm inclined to believe that was simply a poor attempt at humor. You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around false accusations, especially among merchant circles.
The land
You
of
claim to be
justice
regular
sure is
perfume
corrupt.
merchants, and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
What?
Ha! Just as I thought. Well, I guess the government isn't corrupt. There's just a lot of shady shit going on in the land of justice.
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it. Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like the Fortress of Meripede, perhaps?
Dun, dun,
Emily,
dun!
you
Don't even think about it. Ah, the dull blade is out.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kyria.
The jig is
Fine,
up, buddy. Come on.
as you wish.
Cooperate.
Sylvain,
Lucian, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison Orderly anyway. You were right, Miss Emily. There
They
were
do
4
not
of
look
us
old
at the
enough to
beginning.
have been involved
Myself, Lucian,
decades
Edgar,
ago, quote unquote.
and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation.
Oh, it wasn't
Bijava.
Kyria. Kyria might
Sometime
be
down
Bijava's
the
kid.
road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Vijava.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom. But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on
Yeah,
fire.
I thought that was fucking
along
suspicious.
with much of the mora we managed to earn. All the Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
Oh, shit.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
Just double checking. So far, Kiria's name still hasn't come
The
up.
name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
Go on. Spit it out.
Kiria was Vijava's younger brother.
Ah, brother,
He was just
not
a
kid.
clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The three of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
So, you think Kiria took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the Auguste flower?
Vijava doted on the
sense.
kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kiria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
But
So
also
the
make
liquid
it into
Edgar
a
was
poison.
forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is poison?
What a bottle. Damn.
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kiria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened to be Auguste.
I don't think drinking something that shouldn't be drunk would just knock you unconscious. You know what I mean? The reaction is generally just vomiting to get it out of your body, right? I don't know, man. There's something sketch going on here. He's not telling us the whole story. Why did Kiria attack Edgar?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that.
I mean,
We're not looking for Kiria
there's
because we have
definitely
it
more
out
to
for
it,
him.
but on the
We
surface,
just wanted to see how he was doing.
she did all
And
that
if
because
possible,
the jig was
work
fucking up and
together
her
to
life was
bring back
ruined.
Auguste. We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself. As long as we keep things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's memory.
So that's why you never mentioned Kiria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on
Press
what's
X to
in
doubt.
Auguste or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask: Edgar or Kiria himself.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact a goost. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
Well, glad to hear it.
We still don't know the whole story,
Lucian,
but...
let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened, there are things that need reconsidering.
Yes, of course.
This man is doing such a good job at sounding cartoonishly evil. It is making it incredibly difficult to not just be like, nah, you're lying. I guess that's the idea. I don't know.
Oh, you think so too? That does seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more evidence. But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now, I suspect further questioning will only result in more made-up answers.
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch, that was genius!
Are you really just a perfumer who looks after people in your spare time?
Oh, right! Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor, and that your patients were unusual.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are already dead.
So you're a
So casual.
forensic doctor?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marechaussee Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world.
I forgot all about
In
that.
fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I
So
trouble you to
casual.
report back to Tainari and the officers at Port Ormos? We should update them on the situation.
Yeah, they should probably
I'll
know.
stay here and continue to look after Master. Now that we have a sample of Auguste, I'm hoping further analysis won't be too difficult.
Yeah, okay. Where's the door? There's the door. Here we go. Boopy doop. Watch, it's gonna be another fucking, primordial seawater shit. I bet. Because everything involving Fontanians involves fucking primordial seawater. Yeah, because perfume is not going to knock you unconscious. Although, I guess primordial seawater induces euphoria. It's like a drug rather than unconsciousness, unless he's
Whoa,
just real old.
why the rush? Did something happen?
You explain everything.
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kyria. I'll start gathering my forces. We won't let him get away.
He's got such a dramatic, deep voice, this random NPC.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emily needs my help looking
No,
after
don't
Mr.
leave.
Edgar.
I love you.
But she said she's not a real doctor.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emily is certainly in the best position to help him. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kyria.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru. Do you recognize the name?
From Emily's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars, and there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their darshan. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar. I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow.
Are they Coven
I'll
or
leave you and
Haven?
Emily to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Okay, fine. This isn't Tainari's story quest. Wait until the next day, 7 a.m. Okay. Roger that. Like I'm gonna actually wait. Fuck that shit. Here we go. 7 o'clock. Go.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
Oh, you had more dialogue. Sorry, Paimon. Hello! You don't look too happy.
Emily!
How's Edgar?
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain consciousness soon. My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions.
How did you do a chemical analysis without any lab work? Unless it was you brought it with you. I guess she probably did. Anyway, questions?
I was able to identify the components that give this substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
Elemental energy?
That might explain the unconsciousness, huh? Would that have an effect on the body?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or some other component of the perfume, it's still too early to say.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari come and find you? Maybe we could ask him to take a look.
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the academia.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emily here?
Kale! Hi, Kale.
Perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon!
I don't like strangers! Hi! Poor Kale.
Kale? Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And please, no need for formalities. Emily is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emily.
Oh, Kale, you're so cute!
Send you here, Kale? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night, and still haven't had a chance to rest. I'm fast on my feet, so it only made sense for me to come and give you an update. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Vijava ever passed through the academia.
Could it have been an alias? I mean, fucking probably.
Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't
So
find
this
a match.
Vijava person was
How is
lying
that
from the
possible?
start? Maybe her identity as a researcher from Sumeru was a ruse all along.
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only...
Hey,
Oh no.
Lucian!
Oh no.
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Curio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them.
Let's go inside and check. Let's walk 5 steps and then have another cutscene. Enter Lucian's room? You rush into the hallway and head for Lucian's room. You try to
It's
enter, but the
locked.
door won't budge. I'll try to break it open. Woo! The door gives way with a bang and you enter the room.
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Wake up!
Oh, damn. We've got more poisoning victims. Oh, shit. Is he gonna be okay?
Emilie, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just unconscious.
Oh, wow.
Like what happened to Edgar?
The most genuine
I'm sorry,
thing
Mr.
that's
Sylvain.
come out of his mouth.
We were too late this time.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
No.
Mad!
That's not possible.
Oh, no. I feel kind of bad.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at his brother's body like this.
Of course. Leave it to me.
I will notify the sheriff.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here, take my hand. Nice and slow.
Oh, man. How the hell did this guy get in?
Here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Aw. There is a heart in there somewhere. Poor guy. I mean, a criminal, but still. Poor guy.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self. He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
My
Good
thoughts
person or
exactly,
bad,
Paimon.
The death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to carry alone.
Maybe that's what Kiria wanted.
If Kiria really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can.
Forensic
Traveler,
cleaner
I've got things
time.
covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Some time passes, and Sheriff Shyam rushes the scene.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emilie, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor.
Shyam,
Have you been
maybe?
able to discover anything?
Probably not Shyam.
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
I guess it makes sense
Then, would you
a
mind helping us
forensic cleaner
investigate?
would also have to
Before
have
he left,
studied
Tainari said we could trust your
forensics
judgment if something like this were to
overall.
happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust.
Like,
Many
have
of the
some background
traces left
knowledge in
behind at the
forensic
scene will fade with
investigation and
time,
stuff like that, so...
the sooner we
It
investigate,
makes
the
sense
better.
that she knows all this shit if she's
Well,
involved
too.
in forensics in
We
some
don't
way.
know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us.
Yeah, okay. Luggage. This bag is stuffed with clothes and other daily necessities. It's quite heavy. Cabinet. The space inside the cabinet is divided into various compartments. It doesn't look like a person could hide in there. Unless they were really tiny. Or really flexible. The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. And also there's incense for some reason. The incense slowly rising into the air. It seems familiar somehow. Is it that one that knocked us out? Although, I don't know. This door leads to the hallway. The lock broke when we forced our way in. This door was probably locked last
And the
night.
windows are shut tight, too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's room. Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emilie and Shyam.
So, did you find anything?
I really like his voice. There are no signs of forced entry, except for my signs of forced entry. The only way in would have been through Sylvain's room.
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
Are you gonna put on your fucking bozo glasses? Okay.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think Sylvain could have been the one who...
I don't know, that
No,
seems
his
genuine.
reaction to the loss of his
Yeah.
brother seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
Then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain is still in shock, but he's our only available witness. We have to take his
Is
statement.
there like glitter in
I
her
agree.
skirt?
Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through everything together.
Time to take 2 steps and then trigger a cutscene. Why don't we just play this out like a movie? I know it's a video
Mr.
game,
Sylvain,
but come on.
I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, we could help each other. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucian was...
So, no movement from the room next door.
Oh,
No forced entry via Sylvain's room.
like
No signs of
solid
a
snake
struggle at the
voice.
scene. And no external injury on Lucian's body. What kind of cause of death are we dealing with here?
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucian's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack yesterday.
the
There
pupils
weren't any
stay
traces of liquid in
dilated
his mouth
after
or
death?
nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything.
Ah,
The more
the
plausible
fucking the
explanation is that
incense
he
burner.
inhaled a substance without knowing it.
It was
And I'd say
diffusing.
that substance was likely a goose.
He got fucking
A goose?
neurotoxined.
No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one night.
Just one night. So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous?
No, that's not what I meant. Emily, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
No, I didn't find any common toxins.
Emphasis
See?
on common.
A goose is harmless. The market response proved that years ago.
That may be true for most people, but not for everyone.
Hello.
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Definitely
Thanks to
shouldn't be.
Emily, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kyria would just let us be? No, he would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena.
Yelena. Everybody's got a fucking alias. Jesus.
That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Exiled
Fatus?
Fatus? How fucked up
The
do you have to
Fatui.
be to be exiled
Well,
from the
that
Fatui?
means the elemental energy present in a goose was...
Ah, so you've already detected it. Well, Sylvain, looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Oh,
The August flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a delusion.
What a
delusion?
bizarre thing to do to make a
Fatui
perfume.
Delusions. I never would have thought a ghost was hiding this many secrets.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
Okay, I didn't see that coming in particular,
That's
I will
enough,
admit.
Edgar. I'll take it from here. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long the perfume mania was going to last back then. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
No, it's not
Listen,
poison.
It's not like it was
It's
good
not.
for business. But all that talk about Auguste being harmful over time, Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible. Unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine. But even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
The divine and noble Auguste originated from a delusion. If the truth came out, the market for your product would be destroyed.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing to all your financial crimes. The Fatui, delusions, Auguste. If the Marechaussee Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Meripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucian would still be alive. All these years without any sign of Kyria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison?
Well, he was obviously
It couldn't be any
waiting
clearer
for you
who
to
the
be
kid's
accessible.
Auguste was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to destroy evidence?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Marechaussee Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed. Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
Sounds like Fatui training
but if her
at
goal
work.
was to destroy evidence, there would have been no reason to do that to herself. Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
I thought about it for a long time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning. Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after
they
her death.
defected. They were
After
not
arriving in
exiled. That's a
Fontaine,
completely
Yelena
different thing.
continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body.
Oh, so she was dying
even
anyway.
further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The August flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kyria was free to take the Mora and run.
And she
So
didn't
the wealth you earned
tell
from
him any of
Auguste,
this,
it
so he
wasn't
thinks
destroyed
it was
in
them.
the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother. We just didn't realize she meant our cut as well. That's why Lucian and I were searching for Kyria, to take back our Mora and the August flower. We just didn't realize Kyria was baiting us the whole time. It was all a trap.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
I don't think he knew his sister was nearing death. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way her brother wouldn't notice how she could barely walk.
This is so sad.
All we'll need to do is tell Kyria what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge.
No.
I'm
I don't think
not
that's how that
sure.
works, Paimon.
Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate a Auguste.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that headspace for so many years.
Very true. Even if Yelena's death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent either.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks? If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn, Yelena could have survived.
She knew her limits. She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us. We were just trying to earn a bit of Mora. And what, we deserve to die for that? Target me for being the mastermind, sure. But what about Lucian? He was just following my orders. Lucian's crime, was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
Revenge isn't always, rational.
The only person that can answer that question is a judge.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. What a headache.
I was just thinking, are there any extradition treaties we need to worry about here? What's gonna happen?
Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
He's just thinking about all the paperwork.
The
Which,
hotel
mood?
could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself. Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
Put me under house
If
arrest.
Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go.
Oh no.
Say goodbye to my plants and all that.
Okay,
As
what
for
sketchy thing are
Sylvain,
you up to, or are you going to kill
I'm sure he
yourself?
also has some goodbyes of his own. Would you be willing to grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
Oh dear. Is he gonna fucking
You
off
have
himself?
my
Why do I
thanks,
feel like
Sheriff.
he's gonna off himself? But if we wait until tomorrow, doesn't that mean something could still happen tonight?
Happen tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kiria might try to finish what he started?
Yeah, all we know is that he uses a goose to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act.
Yeah, he is
If he targets
doing
Sylvain
some
or
impossible
Edgar again,
shit.
we might not be able to stop him.
That may be true, but what if we can take advantage of his desperation?
Desperation?
If we take advantage of this situation and lure him in on purpose, we might finally have the chance to talk to him.
Master, no. That's too dangerous.
Ha! So, that's your plan.
Gosh,
If
he just
Kiria
lights
learns
up
we're being
whenever people
taken
are
away
concocting a
tomorrow,
scheme.
His last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight. In other words, you want to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk. What? Are you afraid of him?
I mean,
Afraid?
he did just commit murder.
This is my only chance to make him pay for
My
what
guy,
he did.
you are in the same
I'm
room as
spending
the
the
sheriff.
rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I'm letting him get away with it.
I mean,
Not
we're
after
talking
what he
about
did to Lucian.
you guys facing
As
consequences.
for
He
the
also just
danger,
committed murder
Everyone else just
and
needs
attempted
to make
murder
preparations in advance
in
to
Sumeru.
protect us.
Doesn't matter
I'll
if he's a
admit, it could
Snezhnayan,
work.
but he's still like he
We
lives
just
in
need to spread the
Sumeru,
word
so
that
like
Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow.
he
Then I'll
also
station
will
some
be
of my
going
men
to
around the
fucking
hotel.
jail.
If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success would be even higher.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my help.
We can help stand guard.
I'll also keep watch.
Although I think Sylvain and myself should remain alone in our respective rooms. If Kiria noticed another person in the room, he might decide to turn back. And besides, it's possible he's already transformed Auguste into a potent toxic gas.
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the two of you, he might get so desperate that he'll just start using a goose on everybody?
If that were to happen, everyone standing guard, even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in danger.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
The timing on the... little out
You're
of
still
sync there.
recovering. You need to rest.
This old bag of bones doesn't bounce back like it used to. I suppose I'll just have to leave the rest to you.
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch later. Right now, I say we split up, start spreading that information before it's too late.
With everyone's help, the news about Auguste as well as Edgar and Sylvain's impending departure begins to spread. Hey, all you people! Hey, all you people! Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me?
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop.
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the rumors. No matter where Kiri is hiding, he must have heard them by now.
Gosh, you're being real obvious about this, though.
We can see how the other preparations are going while we're at it.
Literally just like, hey, stranger I've never spoken to in my life, have you heard? Return to the area near the inn. Sup?
Emily, Sheriff Xian wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Poor Kale.
Thank
Just
you,
got
Kale.
roped into this shit.
But first, here, I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have some?
Oh, that's very kind of you, but I'm okay.
Oh, it's not good to be so tense,
It's
especially
an
when we've got a
antitoxin.
long night ahead of us. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I couldn't help but notice that something
I bet
seems
there's
to be
something
on your
more to
mind.
this.
Was it that obvious?
You seem very preoccupied with Kiria's revenge. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to listen.
Oh,
Or maybe it really is just fucking herbal tea. I don't know. I get the feeling she managed to cook up like a
Hey, Emily, Kale.
inoculation
Oh, are we interrupting something?
for the Auguste toxin. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through. with
Oh
you
my
here
god,
anyway.
are we getting depressing
I've just
Kale
been
backstory?
If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, why
No,
didn't
we
he
are not.
target
Not
Sylvain
even
along
a
with
little bit.
Lucien last night? There was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. Don't you think? When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after Lucien died and saw how distraught he was, I suddenly realized maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his ultimate revenge.
So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain and Lucien?
I feel like we already
Based
kind of
on what
touched
we've
on
heard
the
about
idea that
Kiria,
this
that may very well be the case.
was
Losing
to
his
make
sister all those
Sylvain
years ago.
feel it, you
What
know?
has been going through his head? What has he been forced to endure? Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't help but wonder. If I were in his place, would I be able to let go of that hatred?
I know she has been through like so much shit and like she has an incredibly traumatic background, but hearing such a cute little squeaky childish voice talk about shit like this is so unnerving.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't think like that. Not after everything he's done. But I just can't help it.
There's nothing wrong with the way you're feeling. Empathy is a part of human nature. In all my years of cleaning up crime scenes, I've witnessed countless families mourn their loved ones. Their cries of devastation and anger still echo through my mind, even now.
Damn!
Some of them even try to stop me, begging me not to erase the last remnants of their loved ones.
Jeez!
But getting swept up in those emotions will corrupt your judgment.
This is heavy, man!
Surround yourself with fragrance for too long, and your sense of smell will become dull. Allow yourself to be consumed by your emotions, and you lose the ability to think rationally. So while you hold on to that sense of empathy, you also need to ask yourself, do Sylvain and Lucien really deserve to die? How much did they truly know about the Fatui and the delusion? Did they force Yelena to make those decisions? Answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence, while a single act of vengeance can put those answers forever out of our reach. I've witnessed a lot of deaths in Fontaine. When someone dies, a certain amount of information can be inferred from the traces left behind at the scene. But generally speaking, death will just leave most questions unanswered.
Yeah.
And the whole picture ever incomplete.
Once you're consumed by hatred, it will become next to impossible to think about things that way. For someone like Kiria, I'm sure right and wrong lost all meaning a long time ago.
Yeah.
You're right.
Grief will do crazy
the fact
shit
that
to a
we
person.
can approach these questions from this perspective isn't because we're more rational than them. It's because we're fortunate enough not to have suffered that kind of loss. But that also makes us perfectly positioned to stand on the outside and try to pull them back from the brink before it's too late.
Assuming
I understand
they
Kiria's
listen.
decision, but I still want to stop him. Master, Sylvain, and Kiria. They all deserve to survive.
And rot in jail.
The fortunate and the unfortunate.
Aren't you supposed to be under house arrest, my guy?
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar, you're here too?
Oh, it's you two. Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out and about like this?
A little exercise never hurt anyone. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru. So I'd like to take care of my plants while I still can.
We can do that
He's
for you,
up to
Master.
something. He is up to
No
something.
need. I've grown attached to these flowers, and this is my last chance to say goodbye. Come tomorrow. I'll be happy to entrust their care to you. I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more important reason.
Every
Night Watch.
single person
You mentioned earlier
has
that we still
pronounced
need
his
to
name
confirm our
differently.
plans.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area, but we still don't have anyone standing guard next to Sylvain's room.
You mean in Lucian's room?
Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain has the highest risk of being attacked next. You're the most skilled fighter here, Traveler. And Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Did we clear out the fucking diffuser that's been pumping a neurotoxin into the room for a day? Did we take care of that? Because I would like to not die, thank you. Fine with me. What about you, Emily?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll be glad to have your help tonight, Traveler.
Yeah, someone fucking died in there. That shit's spooky. All right, let's start the night watch in a moment. I will be right back. See what Call is talking about.
My men and I will be stationed nearby to monitor the situation. A warning will be issued if any unusual activity is detected.
I'll head into the mountains to keep an eye on everyone coming in and out of the area. Just leave the wilderness surveillance to the forest rangers.
Okay. Oh, my cat is sniffing my headset mic. All right, let us begin the night watch. Oops, I went into the wrong room. Why is this even an option? I guess you can, like, talk to him. Well, we're here. Let's see what he has to say.
Shouldn't you be standing guard in the room next door? I would hate for Kiria to notice you here, an abandoned ship.
Okay. Oh my god, both of my cats have jumped onto my desk for this scene.
Huh. Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge?
It's so pretty in here with all the pollen in the air. Just like that?
Guess we'll have to keep at it. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
What did we decide his name is? Xiom hasn't issued a warning either.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain to be convicted for his true crimes, he could have tipped off the Marechaussee Phantom years ago.
And he already killed Lucian. There's no reason to stop there.
There must be something we're missing. Something extremely important.
It's
Maybe we just need
not
to calm
Lucian,
down a little.
or it's not Sylvain, it's
I have
Edgar.
some tea. That herbal blend from earlier was pretty tasty.
We can't abandon our post, and there's nothing here we can use to make tea.
You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like looking at the flowers. Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Because they don't bloom during the day.
Flowers, glaze lilies, incense. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's already planted the murder weapon. Emilie rushes next door. A strange floral fragrance saturates the room. Sylvain lies unmoving on the bed. He's not sleeping, he's unconscious.
Someone was attacked again last night.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was murdered in cold blood.
Shit, he's
First
dead?
it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucian, and now this.
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene. Please, no loitering.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse of the guy. What is going on?
Do you think it could be the work of an evil spirit?
Okay, buddy.
I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so many people watching?
The diffuser was definitely
Keep it
planted
moving,
in the
everyone.
room
No
when
loitering.
no one was in the room. For sure. Same way he killed Lucian.
I suppose I'm next.
You don't know that. Kyria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't consider your crime to be worthy of death.
You were the only reason I managed to survive, Emilie. I never did thank you for that, did I?
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able to help.
Is that so? I suppose I'm a very fortunate person then. I have exceptional students, caring friends, and the respect of my peers. If it is indeed my time to go, then I'll die without regrets. But Kyria has nothing. Yelena is gone. Now his enemies are too.
Why do I feel
really
like
makes you wonder
Kyria's not
if
involved?
there's even a reason
And it's
to
Edgar.
keep on living.
He meant to
If you
kill
really want an
himself.
answer, I suppose you'll have to
And
ask Kyria
failed.
himself once we finally catch him.
Well, I hope it all goes well.
I don't know, man.
Emilie, there's something else.
There is
I'd
one other,
to
like,
ask
piece of this puzzle. I
With
swear.
Everything that's happened, holding the exhibition, is off the table now. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. I can't let them wither away with no one to care for them. Whether Kyria gets to me first, or I'm sent back to Fontaine to stand trial, I won't be around to look after them. I know it's a lot to ask, but could I entrust them to your care?
I feel like
Of
we already
course,
established this.
Really? Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Now I truly have nothing to worry about.
Sheriff Sham still has some
The
questions
shit he's
for me,
saying
so
sounds very
I've gotta go.
Go
suicide
ahead.
note.
Best
I
not to
swear,
keep
there
him
is
waiting.
something about this.
He can
He
be
meant to
quite
kill himself.
Impatient.
Whether from the beginning or now, he does not intend to survive
sorry,
this
Master.
situation. Okay, are you gonna monologue? You gonna tell us something? Meanwhile, in Sylvain's room. Hello?
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's plan will go well.
So squeaky, I wasn't expecting it.
Kali still looks quite worried. Let's go talk to her.
I mean,
Emily still isn't
murders.
back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble.
She is extremely meticulous. I'm sure she's prepared to handle anything that might come her way.
Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now too, but I have to admit, I'm not really sure what's going on. After listening to Emilie's plan, I started getting the materials together and arranging personnel. I barely had a second to spare last night. To be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
Elementary, my dear Shyam.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time.
Feel like you've been waiting to say that for a while.
Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hid a goose.
It was in the fucking diffuser. Or in the flowers itself. I think it was the diffuser. The incense slowly rising into the air. It seems familiar somehow. Emilie checked last night. Turns out it is spirit boreal. Oh.
Wasn't this incense originally in Lucian's room?
So it was.
It must have been moved
the
here
thing
before
we
nightfall
encountered
yesterday.
when we first came to Sumeru. To dull the senses, perhaps. So it was hidden in the flowers? The corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong. The glazed lily is swaying gently, its petals closed. Oh!
This is it!
When it bloomed at night, it released the scent!
Glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a flower from Liyue, right?
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emilie, you're back!
How did it go?
Exactly as expected.
A flower that only blooms at night. Ah, like the Neelitpala lotus.
Exactly. Although the Neelitpala lotus wouldn't be a good substitute in this scenario. When it's closed, the gaps between the petals are too large. That's why Kyria chose the glaze lily as his mechanism.
In quotes.
He would start by preparing an Auguste sample.
Kyria in quotes. Because it wasn't fucking him. In order to set up the mechanism, he took Auguste and soaked the area around the petals. Because there was a ring of, like, a liquid, right?
There's a sticky substance on the edge of the flower petals. It's one I recognize.
Sealed it inside the petals.
If you stick the petals together with slime condensate, then in the daytime, the glazed lily would act almost like a hidden container.
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together and enclosed a sample of Auguste in the center. That way, the Auguste would remain trapped inside during the daytime, unable to seep between the petals and evaporate into the air. This also allowed the culprit to plant the poison well in advance, while his targets remained oblivious. However, the diluted slime condensate wouldn't be viscous enough to prevent the petals of the glaze lily from opening at night. So by nightfall, the flower would bloom, thereby forcing the target to inhale the Auguste trapped inside.
It seems like that's not enough,
revenge
though.
without having to step
The
foot
diffuser
inside
makes
the room
more
during the
sense
night.
as far as, like,
By the
depositing
next
a
morning,
lot of
the
toxin.
sample of Auguste would have nearly fully evaporated. The glaze lily would have already closed its petals, and any lingering odor would be concealed by the fragrance of the other flowers in the room.
How did a tiny bit of perfume smell diffuse through an entire room, not even with a diffuser or nebulizer, kill 2 people? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get it, that's a way to, like, conceal it, but it doesn't make any sense to me how that killed 2 fully grown men. And swallowing an entire bottle of the shit just made the older man sick. But he's fine. This, doubt. I have doubts.
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of Auguste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped inside
It's like
a
you
flower
read my
is enough to
mind,
kill a grown
Shyam.
man? And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle of the stuff?
That's exactly what I'm saying!
That's because a goose is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a small subset of people are truly at risk.
Ah, you mean people who are sensitive to elemental energy. So it's just some sort of happy coincidence that Sylvain and Lucien are allergic to the stuff?
Yeah,
That can't
what?
be right. They were involved in the operation all those years ago. If the stuff gave them a bad reaction, they would have known from the very start.
I wouldn't
Seriously!
use the word allergic necessarily. It's more like they're susceptible to its effects. But that distinction isn't important right now. You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucien are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would be.
He executed the poisoning using the incense in the room.
Incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. Thinking back on it, I'm almost certain it was the scent of spirit borneal. In Sumeru, scholars use spirit borneal to aid meditation and stimulate their connection to the Dendro Archon.
So the spirit borneal made them more sensitive to elemental energy.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are substances that can heighten your sensitivity to elemental energy.
Huh. And Kyria chose spirit borneal.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru.
We really wanted to
Ah,
look at this
yes.
picture a lot,
I
huh?
definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so its presence wouldn't arouse suspicion. The flowers in the room could also serve to mask the scent.
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liyue. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition. What a coincidence.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
The exhibition, the hotel, it was all a meticulously designed
No
trap.
wonder he was willing to pay a small fortune to rent out the hotel.
He probably used the Mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed to set him free. But in the end, it was just a tool for his revenge.
This is definitely not what she
There's
wanted
a
for you,
saying
my
among
guy.
forensic doctors in Fontaine. Every step you take leaves a mark. But up until this point, we haven't been able to detect any trace of Kyria's activities. That's not because he was coming and going undetected, or because he's some kind of evil spirit, but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
Oh shit, is he Edgar? Is he disguised as Edgar?
Creating such an intricate mechanism out of a glazed lily, setting up the spirit borneal in advance, and arranging for Sylvain and Lucien to stay at the hotel. It all points to one person. The expert
So that's
in
not
charge
even
of the
really
entire
Edgar.
Exhibition.
See, I knew there was something else involved here.
The Mora spent to rent out the hotel, the way the Auguste flower was cultivated, the method used to disguise his appearance. It all points to one person. The boy who inherited Yelena's legacy, her younger brother. Kyria and Edgar are one and the same.
Ah. Okay.
But Kyria was only in his teens back then. He would even be 40 years old by now. Edgar's lived here for so many years. Even if he changed his appearance, going that long without giving anything away, it would be impossible.
Bad news, Sheriff. Mr. Edgar was attacked.
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. It was giving off a really ominous aura.
Okay.
But before we could even react, the figure up and disappeared like some sort of ghost or something. By the time we got a look inside the room, Mr. Edgar was gone.
It's 'cause it was him.
Do you think Kyria kidnapped him?
Keep up, lady.
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that figure wasn't Edgar himself?
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
Suicide. Like I fucking
Why?
said.
Why would he do that? He's already accomplished his revenge.
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death...
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about why Yelena chose to die...
Then there's still one target left.
Okay, so that's not actually Edgar. So then where the fuck is Edgar? Like the real one.
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Here we go. No! I wasn't trying to go up! God damn it!
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello, afraid man.
A ghost! It's a ghost!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath. Can you tell us what you saw?
A ghost! I just told you!
I saw a black shadow. It ran right past me.
There he is! That terrified man!
How could something like that happen in broad daylight?
Nobody said ghosts were nocturnal, and now he's just fine. Everybody's just... You pointed at this man! You pointed at this man, and I cannot interact with this man. Hello. Nope, not you. Where are we going?
No, don't come any closer.
The music in Port Ormos is very good.
If we go any further,
The
we'll
music
be
in
out
all
Port
of Sumeru
Ormos.
is very
There'll
good.
be hardly any witnesses.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. I would say he passed by this location not too long ago.
This was a hell of a long con.
It's this way. Please, follow me.
You gotta hand it to this person. They're very detail-oriented. Are we going around? Or up, or what? Just pick some fruit. Pick some mushrooms. Real casual. Oh, shit. Well. I'm not wasting stamina food on that. Give it a second. Give it a second. Okay. My bad. Sorry, Farina. You had to do a climb. A chest!
The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
Ah, yes, it's time for the domain at the climax. Just kill a few mushrooms real quick. Grab a chest. Like I'm ever gonna find this
Let the
again.
record show that I verbally consent to relinquishing these items into your possession.
Can't pass up an opportunity for a chest and a couple of fungal spores. Shit. Alright, let's do it. Right, because we're gonna have Emilie as a trial character, so we're gonna want a burn team. Because that's her thing. Okay. That works. I guess I could have put...
Oh! O's!
Oh, what? Oguz?
Are you all right? Were you attacked?
No, I'm all right. I was just chasing after that figure, and then, all of a sudden, I didn't feel so hot.
Let me take a look.
He just inhaled the shit, I guess.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, it's hard to breathe.
Is this whole
feeling,
place?
I've encountered it before.
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment. A bit of rest would do you some good.
Maybe not inside of this cave, though.
Mr. Edgar is still in there. He taught my sister how to make perfume. He's a good man. I can't just abandon him to die by Curia's hand.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen
Oz.
to me. Edgar is the one we're
What a
after.
name!
He and Kyria are the same person.
But how is that possible?
I've never heard that before.
I thought you said Kyria was in his 30s. Mr. Edgar is 70-something. Changing your appearance to look decades older, that doesn't seem possible.
Well,
that's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures to age himself.
Also, the shit from Sijuin's story quest, or just fucking age makeup, is a thing that exists. Okay, I mean, that's probably what he did, but still. The delusion, I mean. But there are many ways to make yourself look significantly older. I'm laughing at this poor bastard's name because I don't know what language Oz is, but in Farsi, Guz means fart, and I'm apparently a child. So, just that's why I can't... I'm laughing at his fucking name. All right.
Kyria used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process, just like his older sister.
No. He couldn't have. Mr. Edgar has been in Port Ormos for years. If someone started impersonating him all of a sudden, we would have noticed.
And what if the impersonation started before he ever set foot in Sumeru? I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar in Fontaine not long after his release from prison. While Edgar was incarcerated, Kyria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body, studying perfumery, and planning the real Edgar's demise. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. He even left perfume making in favor of mentoring students. But these decisions were all for a specific purpose.
So does
the
that
need
mean
to distance himself from anyone who might see through the facade.
Emilie's
And
master
Sumeru
was
fit the bill
Kyria
to a
the
T,
whole time?
with no one around to question his identity. All he had to do was grow a beard, don a pair of glasses, make a few minor alterations to his appearance, and everyone would believe he was exactly who he claimed, Edgar, a perfumer from Fontaine. As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little and continued to refine his skills. It would have been a gradual process, one that ensured no one around him would notice anything unusual.
That explains why Sylvain said he barely recognized Edgar back at the hotel. He aged himself decades beyond his years just so he could accomplish his revenge. Is that even worth it?
I mean, no.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind of person. He can't be.
What you really need is to get out of here and rest.
No, I can keep going.
Can we not have another
this
body?
Is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your symptoms, Mr. Ooze. Please come with me and rest. I'm sure Kyria... No, Edgar wouldn't want any more innocent people implicated in all this.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to a goose, it would seem the substance has little effect on us. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision or capable of wielding elemental power are more resistant to the effects of abnormal elemental energy. In other words, this environment doesn't pose as much of a risk to us.
Makes sense,
Actually,
I guess.
now that I think about it, this stronghold likely has multiple points of entry. If the target were to escape from a different point of entry, that might allow him to evade capture.
We entered a crevice
I hate
in
to
a
trouble you,
cliff.
But we need people to survey the perimeter.
The perimiter. It's like, oh, I have a very important job for you, actually.
Hear that? We're heading out. There's work to be done. Ooze, head back to Port Ormos and start gathering reinforcements.
Got it.
It's the little
Traveler,
brother move.
Emilie, Paimon, please be careful. For someone whose only purpose in life is revenge, there's no telling what they'll do when there's no reason to move forward.
What is with Kale's shoes? I never noticed before.
This isn't the end. Not for us or for Kyria.
They're like whole shoes except with open toes.
We're not going
but
to
they're
let
not
a goose
sandals.
kill anyone else. It's time for the mythos to fade into obscurity.
I guess that's a thing, but I don't know. The toes seemed more open than they should have been. Mushroom, mushroom.
Monsters? Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Well, there's no drops, so it's alright.
Laid bare.
I can torch them because it's not going to waste any fungal spore drops. Okay. Okay. Fire. Patooey.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff.
Way ahead of you. We're trying to explain this one-time only fucking mechanic with story stuff about a delusion? Sure. I'll take it. Fine. Well, this is like a villain lair, but it's pretty.
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers! There are so many of them. I can't believe a single person did all this. Must have taken a lot of time.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost. Not just time, but the time you have left to live.
Oh, we know.
Why would Kyria need this many Auguste flowers? He only needed a few bottles of Auguste to carry out his plan, right?
I mean, they probably want to make it more potent.
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession with Auguste.
What do you mean?
Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers transported to Sumeru to wither away in a foreign land. But Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life in Sumeru under the guise of someone else. For someone with nowhere to call home, perhaps dying among a bed of Auguste flowers just like his sister is the best homecoming he could ask for.
Dang. That's kind of depressing. Are these vegetables okay? Can I use these? They've been growing near poison flowers. Oh, was there anything else in here? No, I don't think so. More mushrooms.
Extract!
Overruled. Wanted my full attention, did you? Everlasting as the moon, transfixed.
I mean, I guess with everything on fire, I am taking quite a bit of damage.
I'll uproot you!
This'll brighten up the place.
I want to try to actually use Emilie.
Remember, health comes first. Mind the side effects.
Well, that was a waste of a burst, but it's okay. What? spotlights? That's kind of cool. Oh, am I supposed to be sending a seed here? I am. That is what I'm supposed to be doing. I forgot to actually chase the seed down. Just got distracted by the fucking spotlight flowers. Bro, speed it up. We got places to be.
A plant that destroys seeds. Huh. Quite the ecological marvel.
Interesting.
Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared.
Where'd it go? Oh, so are we actually directing it? No, it's just going wherever the fuck it wants. So what am I supposed to do? I guess we are directing it, but only in that one specific fucking spot. Sure, whatever.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Thanks, Emily. Damn, you looking pale, brother. Why did I say it like that?
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end.
Did they catch up that fast?
I mean, you're like
No.
half dead, so.
My strength is just waning.
Good night.
But it doesn't matter. This is far enough. Huh?
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those years ago in Fontaine. Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but I always understood. The reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, it was all because of me. I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you.
And so
I
now
know I'm almost
I have
20 years too
squandered
late.
everything you
I should
did
have
for
come
me
looking for you earlier.
in the name of
I should have-
revenge.
I should have died with you that day.
I have made some great life decisions, haven't I, beloved sister?
Yelena? Yelena!
Oh, does this mean he's not going to die?
No! Don't leave me! Please! Yelena!
Seeing your loved ones waiting for you is a common imagery, right? For when someone is dying. Yeah, it meant he survived.
Emily? I'm alive. No, that's not
Holy
possible.
shit, there's so many
I
flowers.
saw her. Yelena.
That is a
We were
huge
together.
field.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin in your body coupled with the pollen in the air, neither of which are fatal.
No. The amount of Auguste I drank, it should have been enough.
Sorry to say this, but that was a fake.
Fake? But how?
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind: to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis
of perfume making, the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
Oh, she's so cute!
The scent of leather?
What the heck?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential
Look at
oils
her!
from leather,
Look at her
but
eyes
by
with her
combining other raw
glasses!
materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose
I
of an accord.
love this art
Does
style.
that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in.
This animation is gorgeous!
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
That was a great transition.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to get you to let down your guard.
Impossible. Even if you found a way to switch out the bottles.
Alright, I didn't catch that.
There's no way you could have made an
that
accord.
Sylvain's death was
if
fake.
Auguste was so easy to replicate, Yelena wouldn't have.
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients would have conflicted with each other if you tried to combine them in the past. But recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it, never stopped trying
10?
to recreate it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day
Only
by day.
10 years?
We found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We even discovered new ways to combine fragrances
Why did I think this happened decades
The
ago this
mythos
whole
surrounding
time?
Auguste may have been untouchable almost 20 years ago, but now it's time for it to become a thing of the past.
But then 20...
The past.
What the fuck? I don't understand.
You've been working as
What
a
is the
perfumer for
timeline
all
here?
these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, even if only in theory. But the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it, just like the perfume mania that captivated the public all those years ago. You believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed it was entirely one of a kind.
And in the process, you forgot that it was a bottle of perfume. Nothing more.
Your obsession with Auguste is also what allowed us to predict how you intended your plan to end, and to make preparations in advance.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Or that you would activate the delusion.
Well, you hit the nail on the head now, didn't you? So, Sylvain isn't dead. Since you've been preparing your accord since last night, I assume you've also figured out my method, then. That means the news of Sylvain's death. The crowd gathered outside the hotel this morning. It was all an act you put on with the sheriff?
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued to use your Spirit Borneal and Auguste combination to wreak havoc.
Who knows? Maybe I would have just offed myself then and there.
I know if you had things your way, you would carry the
awfully
truth of Edgar's demise and the secrets of this garden to the grave, but I'm sorry, Master.
Something
I don't want to see any more
fucking
death.
disgusting, also.
Sylvain only inhaled a small amount of poison. He's being detained as we speak. All the crimes he concealed back then will be exposed in a court of law for everyone to see, and all his secrets will be revealed. The same goes for you as well.
Is that so? Well, I suppose I'll be spending the rest of my days in a prison cell then.
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
He was ready to die. I mean...
I don't feel the need to justify my actions, nor do I intend to repent for them. I did what I set out to do. I may have lost in the end, but it was my choice every step of the way. And if I could do it all over again... But there's no going back, is there?
Careful, everyone. This environment is dangerous. I'll lead the way.
Stick close and hurry up. We can't let Edgar die.
Looks like I'm almost out of time. Although, I do have one final question, Emilie.
Of course, Master.
The combination you used to make your accord. How did you figure it out?
The scent of Auguste is complex and varied, yet the main ingredient consists of a single variety of flower. So, as I was analyzing the sample yesterday, I got to thinking, what if the scent of the Auguste flower was already imbued with that complexity during its cultivation?
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent of multiple flowers?
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, Cecilias. The perfumers of the past knew that if you combine their essential oils directly, they would just cancel each other out. It was a conundrum they could never solve.
I mean, it makes
But
sense.
if you cultivate a new flower species that intrinsically carries the unique features of those three scents, you can bypass that issue entirely. It goes without saying that for that time, this idea was a stroke of genius.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those really do seem like flowers you would choose.
This is not...
Yelena.
This is... In the minds of, like, customers and whatever of Emilie's perfumes, I feel like this is not going to go well. Like, when the news gets out that her master was a fake, that because of how fucking people operate, that's going to cast doubt in people's minds, like real hardcore perfume people. It's going to cast doubt in their minds about Emilie's skills because her master was a fake. Unless this all gets covered up by the Marchese Phantom, which is entirely possible. Anyway, not long after that, the Eremites rush over. Kyria accepts his fate without saying a word. Neat. Leave the secret garden. It's so pretty in here. And thus all the turmoil caused by Auguste finally comes to an end. A few weeks later, you receive a letter from Emilie. And we're in Fontaine now. I just turned around and found my cat sleeping splayed out halfway under the bed. He just looks very funny. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't making fun of you, buddy. He woke up.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume. Right. I heard about that. I think
Okay,
it's
I
called
guess
Yelena.
that did not affect her career.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're releasing.
I was hoping to release it without such a fuss, but the news spread way faster than I expected. I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth, especially after all the work we did to demystify a Auguste.
About this perfume, did you use the accord from back in Sumeria?
I did, although I made a few modifications to the formula to make the scent more pleasant and long-lasting. I actually brought a few samples with me today. I hope
in
that
the
you'll like
same
it.
bottle.
Also, I was hoping you could try out the fragrance before I officially release it and tell me your thoughts.
Of course! A good sense of taste and sense of smell go hand in hand, you know? Just leave it to Paimon!
Okay, but if it's meant to be an exact copy of Auguste, then people are gonna...
Oh, it smells great!
People are gonna recognize it, right? But I guess she made modifications, so maybe it isn't precisely the same thing. People might draw connections if they were around for the original perfume craziness. What was it called? Perfume mania? I'm not sure that's the kind of feedback she had in mind.
It's all right. All feedback is worth considering.
This place
Besides,
is so
when it
Art
comes to
Deco.
perfume, commenting on whether it smells good is the most straightforward assessment you can ask for. There doesn't always have to be a deeper meaning.
Speaking of deeper meanings, curious final question.
Right! Do those flowers have some special meaning? Hearing their names seemed to have an effect on him.
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has something to do with the language of flowers.
The language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before! Paimon remembers hearing something like, the Cecilia represents the true feelings of the prodigal son?
What each flower is said to represent varies by person and across different moments in history. The same is true for the flowers that make up the scent of Auguste. After returning to Fontaine, I did some research, and it turns out the meanings of those 3 flowers can be reassembled to form a single phrase. Forget the past and keep on living. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always intended, not the nobility and grandeur most people associate with Auguste.
Or maybe that's what she hoped for her brother. I mean, obviously that's what she hoped for her brother. And he fucking squandered it. And now look what's happened.
Do you think Kyria knew about that?
I paid him a visit before his trial and explained what I found, but he didn't seem to care. Who knows? Maybe she didn't mean anything by it at all. That was his response.
He has resigned
Yelena
himself.
is gone.
He is a
We'll
dead
never
man
know
walking,
what she was
you know?
thinking. We can look for meaning all
I
we
don't think-
want, but it'll never be anything but conjecture. Even if that is what she was trying to say, I would never be able to forget her. Avenging her death? That was the meaning I chose for my life. Kyria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping for.
Kyria.
In any case, he did want me to pass along his thanks. Thank you for saving my life, for giving me the chance to learn that Auguste could have carried a very different meaning. ... Love and hatred are a privilege of the living. When someone dies, their thoughts, feelings, and intentions die with them. In that sense, what Auguste truly represents in the language of flowers will forever remain a mystery. But even if it's only a conjecture, I would like to believe my own interpretation. The meaning we give to flowers, the symbolism we assign to our perfumes, they're constantly twisted and exploited in our imperfect world. And yet, at the very outset, they're born from the simplest and most beautiful desires we hold in our heart.
Oh, okay. It's done.
Art is the key ingredient in fine dining.
Oh. It's a gadget? I thought... What does it do? A sample of the perfume Emilie made herself. It's based on the legendary Auguste fragrance chronicled in Fontaine's histories. Tilt the bottle towards the sunlight and you will see this flowing line of graceful text. Forget the past and keep on living. Does it have an effect? I don't know. Should I use it?
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered.
Oh.
If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette,
Just does a little poof.
I'd be happy to teach you.
Cute. Alright. And it put it in my fucking quick swap. That's annoying. I kind of wish you could just use gadgets. You know, like, it doesn't need to assign it to quick swap to use it. It's kind of a minor gripe that I have. Alright. Everybody's just yapping. Can't hear myself thinking here. That's Emilie's story quest. That was interesting. I enjoyed that. Fucking got dark, but I enjoyed that. I mean, that's Fontaine for you. These things are like, there's so much fucking murder and like horrible, horrible shit in Fontaine's story quests. Damn, look at all my encounter points that I've racked up doing this. I think I'm gonna call it a day for today because I have 10,000 other things to do. So that was a nice little story quest, and that's pretty much, minus the event stuff, that's pretty much all the 4.8 content. And now we get to be excited for Natlan coming in a couple weeks. Right? 10 days, I think, from now? Like a week and a half? I stayed up till 2 in the fucking morning and watched the entire live stream. And I definitely shouldn't have done that, but I did, and I was very excited. Being really hype and also sleepy is weird mentally.
Thank you for completing
I'm
Ad Astra Abyssos.
immediately in love with the Pyro Archon. I think she is so cool, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the Pokemon, the Saurians. I'm excited about the new characters. I'm excited about all the rewards coming in a 5.0 patch. Free 5-star. So many more primos and wishes. All the quality of life improvements coming. I'm pumped. This is gonna be great. I just wish the big patch didn't drop on a fucking Wednesday. Maybe I should just take the day off work. I don't know. Maybe. Alright, anyway. See you probably. No, I will not see you next Saturday because I'm performing in a show that day, so I will not be streaming next weekend. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll see you in Natlan, I guess. That's what's gonna happen. Alright, cool. Yes, I'll see you in Natlan in either on release day or in 2 weeks. I don't know yet. Okay? Bye-bye.